Welcome to Soul via Soul, the podcast where we embark on a journey of self-love and true wellness. I'm your host, Jada, and I'm absolutely delighted to have you here with me as we dive into all things mind, body, and soul. Now, what do you say we get this thing started? Let's dive in. Welcome back to another episode of Soul via Soul. So today we're going to talk about connecting the dots, and we're going to specifically talk about how loving ourselves is related to healing and a deep healing. And when I'm talking about deep healing, I'm talking about unresolved trauma that leaves its mark on our subconscious brains, causing limiting beliefs, and often not understanding and knowing our worth. So when I started Soul via Soul, I started with what was called the Wellness Rebuild, and just using my medical training and really being an athlete and a lover of all things wellness and coaching athletes and that being really this big part of my life. The Wellness Rebuild was my very first course, and it was about basically learning how to change the way you ate and also start an exercise regime that you could stick to. So, and it got a lot of traction. A lot of people were interested in learning how to eat better and move their body more, mostly for weight loss and just feeling better in your body. So the people that started that course with me, it was very interesting because what I learned, which is why I pivoted, is because we all know what to eat. Generally, we need to eat lots of fruits and vegetables, lean meats, and healthy fats. We know that. We know we need to exercise. We know we need to move our body. We know the benefits of that. I could talk to the cows come home about that. We know these things. So why do we struggle to do it? So what I learned early with the Wellness Rebuild is that when we started to get underneath it, when we started to realize that what was the resistance between eating the healthy food and then binging on the ice cream or the potato chips or just not having the motivation to get up and move your body? What was standing in the way of just simply doing the thing? And the more I talked to these women, the more I understood that they actually didn't feel worthy of loving themselves in a way that allowed them to pour into their lives. You see, when we're hanging on to things, we can't receive. When we are hanging on to limiting beliefs about our worth, we can't open up to receive the nourishing, loving gestures that we're trying to pour on top of it. We can't pour in loving, wonderful things that are going to actually move the dial in our life and help us feel better if we're hanging on to past hurts and wounds. There's simply no way to open up and receive. And that's what I discovered, that there was this link between doing the things that actually help us on our health and wellness journey, eating well, moving our body, meditation, journaling, all the things we all know to do. But the missing piece was that these women and most of the clients I've worked with since that time is that there are these long-held beliefs, usually stemming from trauma, from wounds of our past, that simply do not allow us to receive the new behaviors that we're trying to do that are actually going to move our dial forward in our life. We don't feel worthy. Why don't we feel worthy? Usually it's because we've got some unhealed limiting beliefs from unhealed trauma. So that's when I started doing a backpedal. That's when I started to understand I needed to create a course on that. I need to help people learn how to heal that inner child, to learn how to heal that trauma before we even talk about the benefits of eating a probiotic. or going for a walk, or even sitting your bones down to do a meditation, if you don't feel worthy, it's never going to happen. The change you seek is not going to be sustainable because you don't love the vessel. And loving the vessel is the absolute most important part of starting any healing journey. And often, even feeling worthy to invest in loving yourself is also an obstacle. Because we have to get over that hump. We have to get over the idea that, well, maybe we got some things we got to unpack, because no one really wants to do that, because sometimes it's painful. And often it gets a little harder before it gets better. But that's what's needed often on our healing journey, is to take a step backwards, to go inward, to do the healing work, because that actually is the most self-loving gesture you can do, is to say, I'm worth learning how to love me better. And trust me, I didn't know how to do that. I still struggle on how to do that. It's not a one and done. It is a journey, and it's a daily journey. I have to pour into myself every day. Some days it's harder than others. I'm just like you. I struggle with that sometimes. But when you get underneath the why, when you get underneath and do the work of healing, that's when you can feel worthy to receive. That's when it becomes easier, and you actually look forward to eating healthy meals because you see it as a loving gesture. You look forward to putting on your shoes and going out in the sunshine and taking a walk because it's loving you. You look forward to opening up that journal or sitting down for a meditation or trying new foods to improve your gut health because you love you. And when you start loving you, you start healing. You heal your body, you heal your mind, you heal your past. But it's all connected. And that's why loving you is so intricately connected with healing. And having that healing journey is exactly that. It's number one, it's healing. It opens up the space to love you, and it's a journey. The great part is you don't have to do it alone, nor should you. Having this space to heal, having a community allows you to process these things and to actually find support. And it has long been since I started Soul via Soul to have a community to bring bite-sized, actionable, easily digestible, small nuggets that move the dial in all of our lives, mine included. I learn right along with you. Having that community, that safe space where you feel you can share vulnerably, where I can pour into you even more, where I can answer those specific questions, take a deeper dive on topics that are really important to you, is why I am actually extending Soul via Soul into a Patreon. This is going to allow us to really form that community where you can come in and take what you need. There's going to be different levels of support. Take what works for you. It's always been my mission and my passion to bring accessible, affordable mental health tools to move the dial in all of our lives. And I couldn't be more excited about this new Patreon that's coming in the next few weeks. So stay tuned. Having a community of support, having a self-healing space where you can do the work of uncovering all those limiting beliefs, leave that baggage behind so you can start to receive all the wonderful wellness tools that you actually want and need to move your life forward. We're going to move the dial together. So welcome, and let's get this party started and get on the journey of healing by learning how to love ourselves deeply, authentically, and maybe for the first time in a real way. And I'm so happy to have you join me on this journey.